Yes, it is that time again. I'm John Zidar. This is On Top and Hot. And today is Wednesday. It's December 18th. Tomorrow being Thursday, I've got my live streaming event. I do this every Thursday, 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I go on for about 90 minutes roughly, and I'm looking at hot penny stocks that you, the viewers, request. I go over the fundamentals, we look at the news and the filings, try to find those catalysts, and then we look at the charts. And I give you my opinion, whatever that's worth to you. Now, I do like to get my due diligence done ahead of time. So when I drop my announcement of this video earlier in the day, people start dropping their tickers in then, and that's when I snag them up and start doing the due diligence. So if you want your ticker looked at, get it in the queue as soon as you see that announcement. Guaranteed, it'll be in the show. That's 4 o'clock on Thursdays, every Thursday. So what I like to do on this show is talk to you about hot penny stocks. I'm a day trader. I trade every day stocks under $5, and I'm always looking for stocks that have potential to make us money. Well, today I want to share a few stocks with you. I hear you. You're looking at this going, wait a minute, you just said penny stocks. QUBT's at $25. That's not a penny stock. You're absolutely right. Matter of fact, most of the stocks we're going to look at are not penny stocks, but they were. Just a few days ago, these were penny stocks. All of these stocks are in the quantum sector, quantum computing. Now, I know I just covered some of this yesterday, but it's worth harping on, folks. The quantum computing sector is in its infancy. Right now, honestly, I think it's dangerously overvalued. I think it's climbing too fast. But we're not long-term investors at this point of the game. We're getting in for big runs and getting out, taking those gains. So this is perfect for us. So what I want to do is I've got I've got four quantum computer companies here I want to share with you, starting with the most expensive as they are right now. And I want to show you what they're doing. And then we'll look at a couple, I think one or two, that are still in our price range. See, here's the thing, folks. There are a lot of companies out there that are into quantum computing, but a lot of them are already big. They're already successful. You know, companies like Amazon, Alibaba, Baidu, Google, IBM, Intel, Microsoft, NVIDIA. Come on. Of course, they're going to be getting into quantum computing, but these aren't the companies we're considering. So we're looking at stocks like D-Wave Systems and Rigetti and WIMI. These are stocks that are still down under $10. Right now, if you can get a quantum computing company under $10, you're doing great, folks. There aren't a lot of them left. Now, I don't know that I have found all of them. I'm going to be doing more research. First one we're going to take a look at here is QUBT. This is Quantum Computing Inc. As you can see, she is currently at $25.68. It was just 3 days ago, she was under $7. 3 days ago, she jumped from $7 to $26.50. Over 400% gains in 3 days. Now, what really got this stock running was its news. Now, if you do any research over here at the OTCmarkets.com, which is where I do all of my research, at least initially, I start here because they carry every single stock on the market. So I don't have to worry about that. And they do give me information for most of it. Every now and then you don't find what you're looking for, but it's a great place to start. Well, when it comes to the news, they've got two sections for news. You've got this top half, and then you got this bottom half. The top half is dedicated just to the company. There's no other news here but the companies. But as you can see, we don't have any current news up there. So we jump down here for more recent news. Well, what you get down here is their news as well as other competitors' news, which is kind of nice. You get to see other things going on. Well, down here, we have two pieces of news. Actually, there's lots of news. On the 9th of December, Google rises as tech giant unveils mind-boggling quantum computing chip. No, this has nothing to do with the companies we're looking at, but it is in the quantum computing sector. There are a lot of people looking at this sector right now. It's getting a lot of attention. Everybody online is talking about it, and the stocks are running hot right now. So they've taken a pullback, maybe not because they were running hot, but maybe because of whatever Powell said today. The whole market took a downturn after he got done talking. The next piece of news is what got this stock running particularly. Quantum Computing Inc. awarded contract by NASA to support phase unwrapping using directory photonic optimization solver. Quantum Computing Inc., an innovative, integrated photonics and quantum optics technology company, today announced that the company's been awarded a prime contract by the National Aeronautics and Space Administration's Goddard Space Flight Center, that is NASA. This contract marks a pivotal step forward for the QCI by applying its entropy quantum optimization machine to support NASA's advanced imaging and data processing demands. And they've got a lot more information in there, but we're not going to go through all that. Real quickly, let's just take a look at what sort of volume she had. Boom! She's got like 5 times her normal volume there, going from 46 million shares a day up on the NASDAQ to 225 million shares today. Share structure for QUBT, we're at about 100 million. No clue what the insider zone, so I don't know what the float is. I know the float isn't going to be any higher than the outstanding share count and could be considerably less, depending on how many shares the insiders own. Market cap for the company is currently at 1.6 billion. Financials, they are making some money, just started up in the last 2 years. We got to put 3 zeros on any of the numbers on these charts. So back in 2022, they had $136,000. They have more than doubled that to $358,000 at the end of 2023, and they are bringing in profits. Quarterlies, they're making money. It's dipped a little bit this last quarter, and their profits have dropped a lot. Balance sheet for the company. We've got $3 million in the bank, about $76 million in assets, only about $11 million in liabilities. So we're holding $60 million in assets for this stock right now. And disclosures, I don't think we have any disclosures to consider, but we'll take a look at this 8K since we're here. These are material changes. This is a material definitive agreement. That's a big deal here. It says the company entered into a securities purchase agreement to sell 1.5 million shares of the stock at a purchase price of $5. I guess this is a public offering. It's a private placement. No, so it's a private placement. That's got nothing to do with us. So they've got 1.5 million shares times $5 each. That's going to give them what? $7.5 million. That's what they're going to get out of that deal. All right, so let's go take a look now at the chart for QUBT. I've got her on the short chart. Let's jump on back to the long one. There's your yearly chart. Not a lot going on with QUBT. She's been flatlining it here for a long time. She probably does have some bounces and rips in there, but for the most part, she wasn't going anywhere. We had a low here of 35 cents. That was back in July, and we hit our high here, I think probably today, of $27.35. As you can see, it was right here she started to move. That was October 18th. We can probably see that better on the 4-hour chart. Not much. It was right there she started to move. Actually, this is November 13th. That's when she got off the flat line. I guess we had a little jump and bump right there, which isn't even showing up hardly. This on November 13th took her from $1.26 up to $5. So we had a 300% run there. She finally got off of the 200, came down to her 50 here, took a bounce, went from about $2.30 up to $9. There's another 400% run there, sideways with not much activity, but a little, but she's hanging around the 50, not dipping to the 200. And then we had our solid rip. With that news coming out, she went from $6.65 and she's still running at $27.15. I shouldn't say she's still running because I do believe she's fallen now after that Powell conversation. So you can see she was getting some activity here. She was bouncing around, but I mean, she didn't look hot. Now she looks hot. You can see the volume is very heavy in the picture. Our oscillators are very strong. Our ADX down here, this yellow line tells me how strong the trend is on the chart. We've got an uptrend. Well, the uptrend is represented by this green line. We always want that on top of the red line. The higher the green line up, this graph, the more strength it has. So we have an uptrend getting a lot of strength right now. No duh. What was your first clue? And then look at our RSI, folks. RSI has been in the overbought for the most part for 3 days. It is cooling off right now. And taking a look at our 5-day, 15-minute, nice easy rip there, folks, from 3 days ago. She got up on top of the 50, and she's been bouncing off of that 50 all the way up, looking like she's still going to do it. Now, I think she's way beyond where she should be, but that's an investor's point of view. We are looking at this from a trader's point of view. We don't care if it's overvalued. We just want to know, is it going to continue to run? And right now, everything looks like she still wants to run. There's still a lot of volume coming in. Look, the volume's getting stronger and stronger every day. She is on an uptrend. Our oscillators are still showing a lot of strength. It deserves to be on your watch list. Now, for those of you that don't like to trade expensive stocks, I get that. But you got to remember something. When you buy a stock, it's say a nickel, and it drops to 4 cents, you just lost 20% of all of your investment. Just like that. When you're up here at stocks at these prices, it's going to drop a lot to lose 20%. You're not going to lose 20%, are you? So these stocks are definitely less risky than the cheaper stocks. Let's take a look now at the next one. This is ticker RGTI. This is Rigetti Computing. 2 weeks ago, Rigetti was at $1.30. You can see her current price right now is at $10.69. She did hit a high of $12.75. That is a 1,200% run in 2 weeks. Rigetti, this is also a United States company like the last one. This one was based out of California. She was down today by the end of the day, just about 4%. And she is on the NASDAQ. And you got to love these penny stocks on the major exchange. First off, they're free to trade. There's no transaction fees like we got with the OTC. There's a lot more money and a lot more volume up on the major exchange, which are the two primary things you need if you want to be making money in trading. And there's a lot more rules. And that's good for us because that keeps the companies in line. So that protects our investments. So what did I learn about this company? Well, I already knew it. There isn't any news on this company. All of this news, as you can see up here at the top, is news just about this company. Down here is news about them and their competitors. There is no news here about the company whatsoever. So this company is running on sympathy for the other ones. It is rising because the waters are rising. All of these companies that are in quantum computing are taking gains right now, but there's only a handful of them right now. Down at the prices that we would consider, there are really only a handful of these. So what does this company do? I've jumped into the most recent financials since I don't have any news. Rigetti Computing and its subsidiaries builds quantum computers and the superconducting quantum processors that power them. The company markets a 9-qubit quantum processing unit under the Novera QPU trade name. Through the company's quantum computing as a service platform, the company's machines can be integrated into the public, private, or hybrid cloud. The company is located in Berkeley, California, but the company also operates out of Fremont, California, London, United Kingdom, Adelaide, Australia, and British Columbia, Canada. The company's revenues are primarily derived from operations in the United States and the United Kingdom. And that's really all we got for the company. So what was its relative volume today? Way up on no news, no catalyst whatsoever. She jumped from 84 million up to 275 million. We got a 300% increase in her volume. Share structure for the company. We're up there closer to 200 million. Again, I don't know what the insiders own, so I don't know what the float is, except to say it won't be any higher than the outstanding share count. So it could be 192 million, or it could be considerably less. Market cap for this company currently is at 2.1 million with her new price. Financials for Rigetti. She too just started making money in the last 2 years. 2022, she did $13 million, getting to keep $10.2 million of it. And 2023, she did just a little less, about 12 million, and her profits dropped just a little bit, down to 9.2 million. Quarterlies, she's been dropping. She's been averaging about 3.3 million. This last quarter, she did 2.3 million, dropping almost a full million. And her profits, they dropped about 700,000 down to 1.2 million. Balance sheet, lots of money in the bank. We got about 20 million in the bank, 157 million in assets, a mere 34 million in liabilities. So we've got 122 million in positive stockholder equity. So we've got some revenues coming in, we got profit coming in, we got stockholder equity. Company looks good fundamentally. Disclosures, we've got some Form 4s here. Form 4s are filed whenever the insiders acquire or dispose of the company's stock. And they can do it in a lot of different ways. Right here in the center, under that code, you'll get a letter. A P is a purchase, an S is a sale, and that's what we're primarily interested in. But they got a lot of letters, and I really don't care about most of them. But if you're interested, you can come down here under explanation of responses, and it'll normally give you some information about it. Neither one of these are purchases or sales, so I'm really not interested. And I didn't see anything else here. Let's take a look at this 8K. You never know. Termination of material definitive agreement. On December 9th, the company paid in full and terminated the loan security agreement dated March 10th, 2021. So they got a loan taken care of. That sounds like good news. All right, so let's go take a look now at ticker RGTI on the charts. RGTI, we are looking at a 15-minute chart. Let's roll it back to a year. Again, another chart that really isn't doing much, right? She's been flat. We had a little bit of activity here. And I mean, saying little, she did jump from about $1 up to 240. So, you're looking at 240% run there. So I shouldn't make light of it. She came back down, though, and she's been flatlining it here. And then back in October 18th again, that's that same date, she started to pick up and lift, but really didn't move anywhere until November 25th. This is when she started taking off. This is when all the volume came into the picture. This is when our PPO started ripping. This is when we had our crossover on our ADX there. The green line crossed over the red and over the yellow, getting to the very top of our ADX. The yellow line telling us how strong it is. The higher it is, the stronger. Our strong trend up is very, very strong right now. MACD shows how strong it is. Lots of green bars, and we are ripping in the overbought right now. Been up there for a very long time. Looking at our 6-month, 4-hour view. Well, it doesn't look a whole lot different. And you can see my supports and resistances I am using here is the Fibonacci, because going all the way back, there were no price points way up here. We're at all-time highs right now. So I'm having to use the Fibonacci to give me supports and resistances. We get in just over top of one of these lines and get out underneath the next one. That's how we use these supports and resistances and play these big runs. And you don't have to sell everything at the very first target. You could sell 25% or 50% if your stock looks like that. But you don't know that it's going to keep running. So you don't want to take everything with you, because if it all of a sudden breaks and starts to fall and you're panicking or had your head turned or in the bathroom, you could be holding a bag. So if you lock in some gains as she's climbing, when she does turn and fall, if you get caught, you already had your gains in your pocket. So we've got a solid rip here. This is from the end of November all the way to now. So you've got 30 days of climbing here, starting off at $1.55, going to $12. You're looking at, well, she was lower back here, over 1,000%. 1,200% run on this. And it doesn't matter if we get any closer. It's just going to look better and better. You can see she's riding that 50-day MA. She's bouncing on that 50-day MA. Even when she comes under it, she's not breaking it. She's just hanging around it. You can be on top of it or you can be hanging underneath it like a monkey. As long as you're next to it, you're okay. And this is hanging around the 50 until it graduates. Right here, she's gotten lighter. She's pushed away from the 50. She's going up to her 9. Look at that, floating on her 9, bouncing off of the 20, maybe going to come back down. So she is looking good right now, folks. The price is getting lighter. She's getting off of the heavy MAs, moving up the lighter MAs, the lightest MA, and she did start to pull away here. She got away from her 9-day, which was at 11.12, and this went up to $12.75. That was $1.50 away from the 9-day MA. That's way too far. It had to come back down. The price does not have wings. It is not an eagle. It is a furry kangaroo. It's got a bounce. It bounces off of all of these MAs, all of these supports and resistances. Any line underneath it is what it can bounce off of. And it came back down off of that, came all the way down to our 20, bounced back up to the 9, looking good. But now she's coming back down. We've got to watch this right now because all of our oscillators have just had a turn down. We just had a crossover on our ADX there. Our green went over the red, which means we are now in a downtrend. The more height that this red line gets on this graph, the bigger that downtrend is going to be. And if this yellow line is up there while the red line's up there, it is going to be a very strong downtrend. Now, I do expect these stocks to come down. Right now, they're probably falling because we had the Fed meeting today and they spoke at 2 o'clock and the whole market fell. Even though they did give us a 25% cut rate, the market fell. So something Powell said, they nitpick his conversation, his words to death. And if they found anything wrong in them, the market will react. So the whole market was falling right now. So I'm not sure if it has anything to do with that or if just quantum computing's, hit a ceiling and needs to pull back. Looking at our 5-day, 15-minute, she's flying up there, folks. She is up on her 50-day MA, way above her uptrending 200. She did break her 50. She's come down to a support here. She is on that support many, many times. Boink, 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 boink. And now she's starting to climb. So there could be an opportunity here for her to start climbing again. We'll have to wait and see tomorrow how the market reacted to Powell. There's going to be a lot of calculating going on today with all these big corporations. Let us now jump back to the next stock. This one is QBTS. Disclaimer, I do own QBTS. I don't have a large hold on it. I got into it the other day. I sold some of it when she was rising. She took a dip. I bought a little more. Now I'm just hanging on to it. It's going to be a swing trade for me. QBTS, D-Wave. QBTS 2 weeks ago was at $1.44. Right now, she's at $8.96, but she hit a high of $10.50, which gave her over 500% gains over the last 2 weeks. Now, D-Wave is the very first quantum computer company to come on the market. I believe they've been on the market over 10 years. They have products, they have big clientele, they've been around, and Jordy Rose is the founder of this company. If you want to know about quantum computing, go over to YouTube and put in the word Jordy Rose and quantum computing, and you'll get to see his lectures where he explains it in layman's terms that will boggle your mind. We're not just talking science, we're talking science fiction. It is just mind warping, folks. But in either case, we are looking at another quantum company based out of California. Finished today at $8.96. She was up today 6.6%, and she is on the New York Stock Exchange. So what can we learn about this company? Well, we got a little bit of news, and it's really not about what this company is doing. D-Wave Quantum not chasing this rally based solely on hope. I don't know what that means. They're not chasing this rally. They're not going to drop any news and help the fire burn more. I really don't know what that means. I honestly didn't dive into it and read it either. But they say they're not jumping into this race. Quantum computing, dangerously high valuations. It is. They're running super, super fast right now. They're going beyond where they probably should be. But as day traders, that's okay by us. Pump and dumps are okay. Running on news that you're going to be delisted or going bankrupt, I don't care what's making you run. If you're running, that's an opportunity for me to take gains in a probable move. I may miss the beginning and I don't know where it's going to go, but I can catch something in the middle. That's what I need to get good at. We do have one piece of news back here, October 31st. D-Wave deemed awardable vendor for the U.S. Department of Defense Chief Digital and Artificial Intelligence Office's TradeWin Solution Marketplace. Again, I don't know what that means, but it's got to do with the U.S. Department of Defense. That's a big contract. When you go into the news for this company, you do learn that they've got a lot going on. Just reading the description will tell you a lot. D-Wave is a leader in the development and delivery of quantum computing systems, software, and services, and is the world's first commercial supplier of quantum computers, and the only company building both annealing quantum computers and gate model quantum computers. Ooh, not that I know the difference. D-Wave's technology has been used by some of the world's most advanced organizations, including MasterCard, Deloitte, Davison Technologies, ArcelorMittal, Siemens Healthineers, Unisys, Net Corporation, Pattison Food, Denso, Lockheed Martin, Jülich, University of South California, and Los Alamos National Laboratory. Now, I do believe they have one of their computers at a California university. I think they also have one at NASA, and I think they've got a third one out. And these can be used by the public. If you have any understanding of it, you can access these. So they have got products out there. They do have big clientele, so we would expect that they're going to have revenues as well. What was the relative volume around this company today? 500% increase on our volume, going from 41 million to 211 million. Share structure for QBTS, it's about 200 million as well, closer to 180 million. Same thing here. I don't know what the insiders own. They don't tell us to float. I can't figure it out. All I can say is it's not going to be any higher than 180 million, right, and could be considerably less. Market cap, we are now at $1.5 billion. Financials for QBTS. Over the last 4 years, her revenues have been increasing, going from 5 million up to 8.7 million at the end of 2023. However, as her revenues have been growing, her profits really haven't been going anywhere, going from 4.2 to 4.5, 4.2 to 4.6, but it is steady. Looking at the quarterlies, 2.59. Last quarter was weak. We've been doing between 2 and 3 million, and we did under 2 million the last quarter. And the profits obviously fell with that, just a little over $1 million the last quarter. Balance sheet for the company. Lots of money in the bank. Got about 29 million, 49 million in assets. First one to have more liabilities than assets. So we're holding deficit here of 16, call it 17 million. So they've got strong revenues, making pretty decent profit, but they don't have any stockholder equity. No profits for us. Maybe I got into the wrong one. Disclosures for D-Wave. Ooh, we got a bunch of them here. 8K, this one came out today. What is this? Quantum announces successful completion of its SOC 2 audit. Oh, yeah. They did just make compliance. They bettered their product. I didn't read that to you in the news. I should have. We've got one here on the 16th. D-Wave announces its CEO, Dr. Alan Barrett, was interviewed on Yahoo Finance. So maybe you want to follow up on that and get some information for what's going on. And let's take a look at this Form 4, see if anyone's buying or selling. Those are sales. What? Every single one of those is a sale. Who did this? Public Sector Pension Investment Board. Now, insiders aren't always management. Insiders are anyone that owns 10% or more of the company, something like that. So obviously this isn't management, but they're an investor. They are a 10% owner of the company, and they have just made multiple sales over 2 days for a total of, wow, 16, 17, 18, 19. It looks like, well, They had 18.7 million shares. Now they got 1 million shares left. That's it. That isn't a good sign. But then maybe something's going on with the pension fund. Maybe they needed to access and liquidate things. I don't know what's going on. It may not be about the company. Okie dokie. Let's go look at the chart for QBTS. Dun, 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 dun. More Fibonacci's because we're probably running at all-time highs. So there's our yearly chart again. Not a whole lot going on. Again, we had, oh no, that's all the way back in February. We had a bounce back here in February going from 75 cents up to 2.25. That's 300% run right there. Just to take a peek back, I'm going to look at 3 years. Oh, look at that. So this is probably when she came on the market, and she probably advertised herself as a quantum computing company, and that got everybody excited. So she took a nice jump. She came on the market at about $7, hit $13.23, and has been in a downtrend with a roll here and there until right now. And we're at $8.96, hitting a high here of about almost $11, and our high is $13.23. Let's come on down to that 6-month, 4-hour view. So there's our low, 75 cents. She hit that back in August. Didn't go far after coming up off of it. Stayed right around that 200. Right about here, this is October 18th. Again, boy, that date. I'm going to have to look that date up. For some reason, everything started moving October 18th in the quantum computing sector. And then right here, is this going to be November 25th? No, that's the 7th. So on November 7th, this stock started to move. She was down here at $1.19, hitting over $10 today. You're looking at almost 1,000% run right there. Once she left her 200, her 50 became her buddy. She bounces off to 50 going up, had a big climb here, which gave her some momentum to hit hard. She could have broke through here and fell. Instead, she took all of that momentum and thrusted it up. And we had a jump here 3 days ago from 384 to that 1050. That is a 300% run over, I guess that's 4 days now. 300% run in 4 days. All of our MAs are climbing. 200's on an uptrend. Look at that volume. Isn't that pretty? All stair stepping up. Our PPO is climbing, though it's leveling off a little bit. MACD, same thing, leveling off, but way up there. RSI is in the overbought. And our ADX, which is my favorite oscillator here recently, we are in an uptrend. Our losses are way down here. We want the green at the top, and it's very strong because it is pushing up right now. So this is looking good. Take a look at our 20-day 1-hour view. So she pushed off her 200 at $1.44, got on her 50. Ooh, she hit the 200 one time there. One peg leg, that's all that hit it. She jumped back up, got up on top of that 200 haul, which is another 200 you got to battle with. And then she started to run on the 9-day MA here, fell down to the 20, nowhere near the strong MAs, just this little itty bitty 20, bounced hard. Off of that 20, she went all the way from, my God, she went from $8 to $10.50 in that bounce right there. Came back down to the 9, climbed most today, and she's fallen back. Come through the 9, can't tell if she's actually on it or not. The 20, I mean. Yeah, the 20. She's come down to the strong support of 818. Let's take a look at the 5-day, 15-minute. Looks like she's bouncing off of it too. She came down, she tagged it twice, really was settling in on this one at 850. Now she is starting to climb again. Everything is trying to push up. Things are level up here. Our 200 is climbing. Our PPO has got a down twist. So does the MACD. All right, so things are fighting right now. But looking at the chart, I would say she's going to continue her long climb. The long chart shows she wants to climb. The short chart shows a lot of battle here. But honestly, I'm going to say it again, folks. I'm blaming Powell. For all that red right there, that is Powell. From 2 o'clock, what time was this? 2:15. right? So from the time Powell started talking, the market as a whole started falling. So don't let any of this deter you from the trend that this stock was on. All right, last stock we're going to take a look at is the cheapest stock we got here, and it barely qualifies as a quantum stock. But I think it will qualify because there's not a lot of them out there. I'm going to do some more due diligence. I'm going to see if I can find some more decent quantum computing companies. This is WIMI Hologram. They are a hologram company. As a matter of fact, well, before I get there, WIMI finished the day at $1.07. She was up. She was slow to grow today. We were looking at her earlier in the day, but she wasn't doing anything. Meanwhile, the other ones were running. The other ones were running hot. WIMI was just nothing. Then at the end of the day, when the big ones started coming down, WIMI started rising. So this could be one of the last ones to get in on that could go crazy. This could go to $10 just because. Not because it has any big news, not because it has any great catalyst, but because it's just there in the sector, barely. So she finished at $1.07 with that 21% increase, and she is on the NASDAQ. So what sort of news do we have down here? Well, before we jump into the news, let me show you what this company does. WIMI Hologram is a holographic cloud comprehensive technical solution provider that focuses on professional areas including holographic AR, automotive HUD software, also holographic car navigation, holographic AR entertainment technology, holographic RSDK payment, and a lot of other holographic technologies. That's what they're working with, holograms. Well, they had a piece of news that came out that mentioned quantum computing. And it's like, mention? Come on, got to do more than that. Well, they've got an interesting product here, I guess. WIMI develops a new design solution for simulating quantum computing concepts using FPGA. This is a simulator so that they can test their quantum computers on. WIMI Hologram, a leading global hologram augmented reality technology provider, today announced the development of a new design solution based on FPGA to simulate quantum computing concepts, aiming to provide a more practical and feasible approach for quantum computing research and applications. Now, I looked around to see what FPGA stands for. I don't know. I couldn't find it. Maybe it isn't an acronym. I'm sure it is, but I don't know what it stands for. FPGA, as a highly configurable hardware platform, can simulate the fundamental principles of quantum computing at the logical level, providing an effective means to validate and test quantum computing concepts. And that's all we got. Now, there's more information here if you want to read it, but that's the only quantum computing information there is. I went to their website. There was no mention of quantum computing there. But when there's only a handful of these guys, we got to take what we can get. And she is starting to move now. So she's worthy of watching. And if volume comes in, she's worthy of playing. So let's take a look at the relative volume for the company today. Wow. Wow. That's the biggest jump of all of them, folks. We've been seeing 400, 500, 600% increase in volume. This is going from 400,000 shares to over 25 million. That's like, oh God, I can't even figure that out. 50,000, 40,000%, something like that, 4,000%. I think that's it. In either case, it is a huge, huge jump today. Share structure for WIMI. Looks like one of the most decent share structures. Outstanding share count is at about 89 million. Again, I don't know any information down here. So best I can tell you is the float isn't more than 88 million and could be considerably less. Market cap, we're at about 78 million now. WIMI, are they making any money? They are, though it's falling. 4 years ago, we were at 117, bucking that up a year later to 146, dropping to under 100, and now down to 82. Oh, get back. Quarterlies. We didn't get these here. That's okay. We do have balance sheets. Looking at cash and cash equivalents, which I call the bank, we got about 48 million. Total assets is about 148 million. Yes, liabilities are less, about 40 million. So that gives us about 106 million positive stockholder equity. So we've got everything going on. We're taking gains and profit. We have revenues. We have positive stockholder equity. So the fundamentals look pretty decent. Disclosures, nothing here since last November. I'll take a look. Well, let's see here. We are at $1.07, and she has just been told that she has until May 19th to get her price up over $1 for 10 consecutive days. Now, this may be the first day that she closed over $1. If she can close over $1 for 9 more days, she'll be out of hot water. She obviously got a notification from the NASDAQ and she was in trouble. If she did not get the price, if we did not get the price over $1 for 10 consecutive days by May 19th of next year, this company would either have to do a reverse stock split or they'd go down to the OTC. So hopefully this was the first day. She just keeps running and gets out of hot water. So that is pretty much everything we got here. I don't think we had anything else to look at. Nope, just the chart. And I am interested in this chart considering this is the cheapest quantum computing company I could find. And I'm not going into pinks. If you find one in the pinks, folks, just think of it as a scam. Just think of it as them riding the bandwagon. Quantum computing isn't cheap. It takes a lot of technology. If those companies down there on the pinks had that sort of money, they wouldn't have to start a new business up. So I'd be very leery about any pink quantum computing companies. All right, so we got WIMI up on the board. Let's roll her back a year. All right, so we're looking at WIMI, ticker WIMI. We are looking at a yearly chart. We had a low of 60 cents. That was back in February. It was about 35 days later, we had a high of $1.87, and she's just been all over the place, up and down, hanging around the 200-day MA. She's had some nice jumps here. She's going from like 85 cents up to $1.27, so that's 50%. These are probably 30%. So she's bouncing right now. The question is, can she keep this bounce going? Can we turn it into a climb? Let's take a look at our 6-month 4-hour view. Well, again, we see lots of big bounces. We see she's hitting her head on this strong support here, but not getting anywhere past that. Basically, it's sideways activity. But what does our ADX and our other oscillators say here? Let's take a look. Things are looking better. So as you can see here, we had a lot of crossovers. The red and green line just crossing over each other. So you're just going sideways when that is happening. Our yellow line is pretty much hanging around the center, which is range. Anything down at the bottom half of this just means things are going sideways. Whenever one of your lines goes to the top, it means you have a trend. Green line at the top, that's right. Red line to the top, that's right. And the yellow line tells you how strong that trend is. And right now, she's maxing out at 100%. So we've got a very strong trend with a lot of volume. Other oscillators are all in agreement. Everything is climbing right now on WIMI. Take a look now at our, no, not our 1 day, 1 year, our 1 hour, 20 day. Just open this up a bit. There's our low, 75 cents. She got up on top of the 200 haul, jumped to and through the 200, fighting that 200 again. Here we go. And now she's launching. This is the first launch. This looks like it could be more than just a bounce going on right now. She has come all the way down to the 20. But again, I'm blaming this all on Powell. Powell gets all the blame right now. This has started to surge. All of our MAs have just crossed the 200. Those are all golden crosses. Everything is climbing. Volume is very strong. PPO is high, but going sideways, which is pretty good considering that she's been falling. Our ADX, we got a lot of strength on the trend, and it is still an uptrend, but the uptrend is getting lower, so it's getting weaker. The other oscillators are showing weakness coming into the picture as well. Again, Powell ruined this. Take a look at our 5-day, 15-minute. She is slowly climbing like all the other charts, folks. She's walking in their path. Look, this looks good to me, folks. I think this is a great entry right now. Entry means you buy some, you don't buy everything you want. You should know how much you want. You want $1,000 worth, you want 1,000 shares. And right now, at $1, you may say, geez, I'm going to get myself 25% or 50% because it could fall back down to the 200. And if you haven't bought everything, well, that's going to be an opportunity to average down because you've done your homework, you believe it's going to climb, you feel confident averaging down. So when she starts to bounce off of that 200, that's when you would average down. We don't ever buy on the red, only buy on the green. When she starts to climb, average down, and that could be your rip and tip right there. As you can see on our ADX and our 15-minute, our red line is now on the top and our green line is on the bottom, and our strength of the trend is getting weaker, which means our downtrend, which is what's happening, is getting weaker right now. We should see a turnaround here if things keep moving. And I see a green bar coming into the picture. So WIMI is probably the play to consider unless you can find another quantum computer company that isn't on the pink and under $10. QBTS, it's right at $10, $10 right now. Everything else is way, way up. And I don't know if it's going to come down. I think it will. I think this is creating a bubble, and all of these stocks are getting into that bubble, and somebody's going to pop that bubble, and they're all going to come back down, and then we'll get to bounce again. But it won't be this sort of run. You know, like the internet bubble. When that popped, it never came back. You just seen a bunch of them die, the ones that just didn't have enough strength to hold up. So we've got about 5 or 6 quantum computing companies now. How many more can I find? How many more can you find? Come on, guys, let's do this together. All of you, look for quantum computing companies and drop comments down below. Let's see if we can find every single one of them out there and break the banks with these things. Thanks for your time, folks. I appreciate you being here. Remember, the more you know, the more you're going to grow. My voice is gone. See you, folks.